All right, just like that, we're live. How's everybody doing? This is Wesley Riddle from All That MMA on Twitter, and also I am over at MMAsucker.com. I've never done one of these on this YouTube account, and I have never really done a video breakdown ever. I did one a while ago, back when I was in high school. But besides that, I've never had a chance to just sit down one-on-one on YouTube and kind of do one on my own. So I thought I would do one. Just finished up an episode of Before the Battle with my good friends Nick Baldwin and Jed Michoud. And you can go find that on MMA Junior JR, that YouTube account. I just immediately popped over to this and thought, you know what, I might as well just try to put something out because I never have before. I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about some of the action going down this weekend. We have UFC Fight Night 108, and the headliner, we have Cub Swanson fighting Artem Lobov, and a pretty interesting card overall. A card I'm actually going to miss. I have something to do that night, so I'm not going to be able to watch it. Kind of bummed. There's some fights I'm looking forward to, especially like the Joe Lozon, Stevie Ray fight, John Dodson, Eddie Wanlin. And I like when his return against Diego Sanchez. So some pretty interesting ones. A pretty good Fight Pass prelim card that we have, and also a decent Fox Sports 2 card as well. So some pretty interesting fights overall. Um, Honestly, this is kind of a free-for-all. I'm just kind of spitting. There's no pattern. I'm not following any guideline. Just kind of wanted to talk about some of the action. So I'm going to start off on a high note. We're going to start with the main event of the evening, Cub Swanson, Artem Lobov. I think I'm just going to break down the fights. Maybe I'll talk a little bit more about some stuff going on in news. We'll just kind of see. I'm experimenting, just trying to have a little bit of fun. Spent a couple hours of my night just kind of relaxing. So let's talk about this real quick. Cub Swanson, Artem Lobov, a pretty interesting fight that we have in the featherweight division, but interesting in the fact that I never thought we'd see this early Artem Lobov have a chance in a UFC main event. So it's way too big of a push, I think. I think we can all agree. I'm surprised so many people over at UFC Fantasy are picking Artem Lobov in this one. I think it's just a little outrageous. And I think it's just not – I don't really see him having a chance anywhere where this fight goes. Lobov's pretty inconsistent. A lot of his losses on his resume, which are 12, as it shows on UFC.com, have come against people who initiate in the clinch and grappling. Cub Swanson definitely can utilize his striking capabilities, which is fantastic with his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, as he is a black belt, and just a wide variety of skills to get the finish in that one. So I'm going to definitely go Cub Swanson. I really like him in this fight, and I think he's going to probably be able to get a first-round knockout. I think it could be a second round, depending on how Cub Swanson approaches it, but I do favor Cub Swanson to get a finish in this one. Moving down to the co-main event of the evening, we have Ragin' Ally Quinta back. This is his first fight, I believe, since you mad at me when he fought Jorge Masvidal and got a very, very controversial decision victory in that one. Fighting Diego, now Lionheart Sanchez. I do like this one. I would like to see how they kind of match up against each other in their prime. A pretty interesting bout. Ally Quinta, a very, very good striker. Diego Sanchez, just a gritty and durable dude. He's been known for doing that in pretty much his entire career. I'm going to go Ally Quinta in this one. I know he's had quite a bit of a layoff, and that could kind of implement maybe his performance in this one. But then again, I think he has the striking advantage over Diego Sanchez. I think he's a little bit smarter of a fighter. I just kind of wonder why kind of Al chose to come back. I think it's probably for the fans and also himself. I'm not really sure how the business he was doing was holding up in real estate, but I knew that's why he initially announced his retirement. So just some unanswered questions in this one, but I'm going to go Ragin' Ally Quinta. I have him picked on UFC Fantasy by a second-round knockout. Moving to another fight on the Fox Sports 1 main card, we have Ovince St. Preux fighting Marcos Rogério de Lima Pezao, as known for short. Just a pretty interesting fight, one that I think I've said interesting enough, haven't I? I've got OSP in this one. Marcos likes to expel a lot of his energy fast and early. Ovince St. Preux, a very, very powerful guy. but does things in short bursts of energy. And I kind of mentioned this one before the battle. OSP, he was a football player, and I feel like that's kind of where it comes from. Just the explosiveness, short, quick bursts of energy to explode within short periods of time. And I feel like that's kind of what he has shown in his UFC career and also his mixed martial arts career. And I kind of question where the fight's going to go later, but I do think OSP will have maybe the cardio advantage just slightly with Rogerio expending a lot of energy there in the first. If he can't land a powerful shot or get some kind of guillotine choke or something, I don't know. I think OSP has more ways to win. He's very crafty on the feet, likes to time that left hand, and that's one way he's put a lot of his opponents out. But pretty interesting fight, but I do think OSP will get the job done. John Dodson, Eddie Wineland. I think this fight would be pretty cool if Wineland had a better chin. Excuse me. I do like this matchup, though. Eddie Wineland, he has been able to put together 2 victories in a row, but I do, as I mentioned just a second ago, question his chin in this one. I think John Dodson is definitely the more powerful fighter. I would say maybe Eddie Wineland is the more technical fighter, but he just doesn't pack the power that Dodson has or the speed and the quickness. John Dodson utilizes that in every single time he steps in there, and it kind of confuses the opponents that he fights. I think John Dodson will walk away victorious in this one. I'm going to go first-round knockout. I think he'll be able to stop Eddie Wineland, who just does not have the best chin. John Dodson comes out victorious and walks away with maybe a performance of the night bonus. We'll have to see in that one. But if Eddie Wineland had a better chin, maybe I'd trust him a little bit more. Let's move down one more. Joe Lozon, Stevie Braveheart Ray. A really, really exciting lightweight matchup. And I think this is going to be one of the better fights of the night that we will see. I have kind of had a hard time picking an opponent in this one just because I do like both. Both are very, very exciting and fun fighters to watch. And I think both have abilities and to utilize and possibly get a finish in this one. But I think we're going to see a pretty exciting scrap on the feet. Lozon maybe has more ways to win, but I'm going to go Stevie Braveheart Ray. I think he'll be able to get a decision victory in this one just by maybe being the fresher and the better striker throughout. And maybe just a little bit more active than Lozon because Lozon may be looking for the grappling and the takedowns in that fight. But I think Stevie has improved a lot since the Alan Patrick fight. I think he's worked quite a bit on his takedown defense. And for that reason, I think maybe Stevie is going to come out victorious in this fight against Joe Lozon. So I'll take him. We are going to move over now to Jake Ellenberger versus Mike Platinum Perry. I have Jake Ellenberger picked in this one, but not with a lot of confidence. It's just an interesting fight. Ellenberger's late in his career. Mike Perry is looking for the knockout shot. He doesn't really throw with a lot of combinations. Ellenberger likes to retreat and be on the back end of some of the stuff that he does. But I do like Jake Ellenberger in this one. I think that if he goes kind of back to his old roots, grappling, looking for the takedowns, I think that he's going to be able to get some kind of victory in this one. It's just going to be a determination on his heart and his will, how he's going to take the shots from Perry if he lands any kind of early on. And I think this will be one of the more interesting fights that we will see, but I'm going to go Jake Ellenberger. I think he'll be able to come out victorious in this one, but it's definitely a harder fight to call. Possibly the hardest fight to call will be the opener for the Fox Sports 2 prelims, Thales Leites versus Sam Alvey. Thales has not really looked the best in some of his recent performances besides the Chris Camozzi fight that he had back in August. Sam Alvey is known for his counter strikes, and that's pretty much all he does in his game. So if Sam can't land a counter that could possibly put Leites down, I'll remind you, this too, Leites has actually never been stopped by strikes, has a lot of his losses to strikers, but is a very, very durable fighter and is always there up until the end of the fight. So Thales could definitely make this gritty. I'm going to be going with Leites in this one. I think it's going to be pretty similar to the Elias Theodorou Sam Alvey fight, except Leites looking for takedowns and maybe landing a couple there, and Sam just not being able to find his combinations that he wants to connect with. So I'm going to be taking Thales Leites in that one. Dustin Ortiz, Brandon Moreno, 2 top 10 ranked flyweights. A pretty interesting fight at that. I'm going to be picking Brandon Moreno in that one. I like his diversity with his attacks on the ground. his variety in submissions and his scrambles. I think that that's going to confuse Dustin Ortiz. And I have Moreno picked by first-round submission. I think he'll be the first guy to stop Dustin Ortiz. Ortiz has fought numerous grapplers in his career and has lost to those who excel at it, such as Wilson Hayes, Jussier Formiga, two great examples there. And I do think Brandon Moreno is going to be another guy to add to get a victory this one. But I think it's going to come by stoppage, as Moreno does very, very well with finding submissions. And I think he might be able to find one in some kind of scramble. So I'll take Brandon Moreno in that one. Let's see. Scott Hot Sauce Holtzman versus Michael McBride. I honestly just don't know a lot about Michael McBride. It's hard to find a lot of fight footage. I think Jed Meshew struggled as well, as we talked about it earlier on before the battle. Scott Holtzman has been always a pretty gritty, exciting fighter. I think I've always enjoyed the guy. Has a couple knockout victories on his resume, also a couple submission victories and a couple decisions. I think Scott is just a more well-rounded fighter. I think he will be able to get the job done pretty much wherever the fight goes. I think I have Scott. I don't have fantasy picked up right at the second, but I think I have him picked by a third-round knockout. I think there will be one that comes late, and it will be in Hot Sauce's favor. Also on what kicks actually off the televised card that is UFC Fight Night 108 is Jessica Penne, number 14 in the strawweight division, fighting Danielle Taylor. She's good with her Muay Thai, but besides that, just a one-and-done kind of striker, likes to try to find that big shot. Jessica Penne does get hit quite a bit, but she is a fairly durable athlete. She's taken quite a bit of damage in both the Joanna fight and also her last fight, which I think was Jessica Andrade. But I don't think, in comparison to Danielle Taylor, they have a lot of output. Danielle Taylor has none. Penne is really, really good on the ground. And I think if the fight goes there, and also on the feet, I think Penne will have the advantage. So I'll take Penne by decision. Briefly, I'll talk about the Fight Pass prelims. I'm kind of reaching out on the limb. I'm going to go Cindy Dandois over Alexis Davis. It's kind of risky. Just Alexis Davis has not really been too active. She was at one point probably one of the top three, I'd say, fighters in the bantamweight division. She's still ranked, but she hasn't picked up a victory in quite a while due to having a child. Definitely, I wouldn't count her out. I'm kind of taking a risk. Dandois is not the best striker, but she's really, really good at finding submissions off her back and on top. And Davis may be able to initiate some of those takedowns, but Dandois could maybe pull off some kind of submission off her back. She's really good with her judo, too. So I'm going to go with Dandois. Not too confident. Out of all the fights I've said, this is definitely one I'm not confident in. But a pretty interesting fight to headline the Fight Pass prelims. Also, Brian Barberena, Jeff Proctor. I think Barberena is just the better athlete overall. I do like Proctor's submission and jiu-jitsu skills, but I think Brian Barberena can equalize that and also have the advantage on the feet. So I have Brian Barberena in that one by unanimous decision. And what kicks off the entire card is a pretty interesting flyweight fight between Hector Sandoval and Matt Schnell. I have Matt Schnell picked in this one by first-round knockout. He has some history in Golden Gloves. He's a Golden Glove champion and has quite a bit of knockouts and also submission victories. We've seen more submissions in his career than knockouts, but I do think he's going to be able to stop Sandoval with strikes early, and I have Matt Schnell picked by a first-round knockout. That's it from the fights and the picks that I have for this card. I guess what I talked about on before the battle, I went ahead and gave my performance and fight of the night pick. I gave my two performances to, let's see, I'm trying to remember, John Dodson and Cub Swanson. I think they're both going to be able to stop their opponents. And besides that, I think the other one was fight of the night, which I gave to Joe Lozon versus Stevie Ray. I think that all those fights are going to be, or at least the ones I just said, are going to be pretty impressive in the way that they do it. And I think that's a good fight of the night to call, especially when you have Joe Lozon in there against a striker like Stevie Ray. I think it'll make for a pretty exciting fight. I don't really know what else to talk about. I feel like I pretty much covered the card. Of course, there's probably no viewers in here. I doubt it'll get that many views overall. Not out of the way. I'm just checking out some of the news that's going on in the world. One thing that I see that was something big is coming from The Ultimate Fighter. This is just a spoiler alert. If you've made it this far in the video, or if you've even watched this at all, this is episode 1. Today is April 19th. The Ultimate Fighter made its debut, The Ultimate Fighter Redemption, with Cody Garbrandt and TJ Dillashaw as your head coaches. Again, I'll announce a little spoiler. The first fight that was planned, they had the team split up, Team Alpha Male, in a way, I guess is what you could say, because they're pretty much the whole team is there, and Team Dillashaw. Dillashaw's team composes of James Krause, Jesse Taylor, Ramsey Nimjum, Diego Lima, Joe Daddy Stevenson, Tom Galecchio, and Gilbert Smith. On the other hand, you have Team Garbrandt, which is made up of Seth Basinski, Mehdi Baghdad, Eddie Gordon, Hector Urbina, Adair Hassan, Julian Lane, and Justin Edwards. You can clearly say, and probably think now, just from me saying all that, who has the better team? It's got to be Team Dillashaw. Absolutely stacked. I think he's going to be the favorite to win, of course, in this one. Now I'm checking out the first 2 fights that were scheduled. Is the first fight actually was a fight between Seth Basinski and Gilbert Smith. The second fight, James Krause, Hector Urbina. It looks like they were going to go ahead and have the Krause-Urbina fight, but some breaking news, not breaking, but since it's already happened, but Hector Urbina is actually out of the competition. He could not make weight for his fight with James Krause, which is unfortunate, as he had fought in the UFC within the past year. He actually fought once in 2016 and once in 2015, and also once in 2014, just taking a look at it. But he is already out of the competition, which is already a hit for Garbrandt's team. Johnny Nunez, on the other hand, has actually stepped in. Johnny Nunez is I don't know if he was originally announced to be on the team. Taking a look, I do not see it, but he must have stepped in. He must have been one of the exhibition fights. Johnny Nunez is now in. I'm trying to remember what season he fought on. I think it might have been the season that Conor McGregor and Uriah Faber were coaches. So Johnny Nunez is now in. He had been fighting a World Series of Fighting recently, but now he's back. Looks like he's stepping in to fight James Krause in the opening round, and that's some news going on there with the Ultimate Fighter. Besides that, we have another fight card to look forward to. We have the battle at Bellator, which is going to get down. It's the 4th fight between Daniel Straus and Patricio Pitbull. Should be a really exciting one. They've always had some fun scraps. The second and third one, especially the third round, the third fight, go back and watch the last round, the 5th round, the last minute of that, and it's absolutely wild. Fun one to watch. I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully I'll be able to watch that one, but like I said, I'm going to be missing this fight card. Kind of bummed about that, but oh well, what can you do? Besides that, there's nothing really else too much to talk about. So I'm just going to kind of wrap it up there. I appreciate you all for tuning in. Hopefully we got a few viewers at least to watch this, since it's so last second. I honestly don't know how many. I don't even think this account has any subscribers, because I just very, very rarely utilize it. Man, I can't talk. I'm tired. I'm going to wrap it up now. Thank you all for tuning in. You can find me on Twitter, first off, at AllThatMMA, which is in the description above. That is my username. You can also find me on Instagram over at Wesley Riddle. Just take my name, get rid of the space in between, and boom, you can find my Instagram that way. And also you can find some of the writing I do over at MMAsucker.com. I'm hoping to get a matchmaking article out, which is one thing I like to specialize in, after the card, but I will be missing it, as I've mentioned a couple times. So we'll have to see. Also, I have finals next week. I'm in college, so I have a lot of work to do with that and preparation to take care of over the weekend. So my focus won't be too tremendously on this fight card, unfortunately. Luckily, it's not a thrilling one or a pay-per-view like to miss, but I love mixed martial arts, the greatest sport in the world. So in that aspect, I'm kind of bummed I'm going to be missing it. But again, can't do anything about it. Thank you all for tuning in. Feel free to give me a follow on this YouTube account. Feel free to, of course, follow me on Twitter. Feel free to share this video around. We can see if we can get anybody to watch it. Maybe pick up a couple views here and there. But if you did tune in, feel free to leave a comment too. Tell me what you think. Tell me if I should talk about anything else in maybe future videos. Tell me if I should maybe shorten it up. I know this is only like a 20-minute video, but then again, some people, including myself, kind of struggle finding the time for it, and also just that is that long. Also, I don't have any time marks, so you're going to have to kind of go through and search unless you skipped at the end. But that's it for me. I don't really have anything else to talk about besides that. Thank you all for tuning in. This is Wesley Riddle signing out. I actually have never used Hangouts before, so I'm going to have to check real quick. But that's it from me. And besides that, thank you all. Hope you have a great day. And peace out.